CFL Combine one-on-one with Saskatchewan Roughriders head coach Craig Dickenson. You add Derel Walker, who obviously has some familiarity with Trevor Harris. How did that all come to be that Mr. Walker is a Rough Rider?
Well, it came together quickly, and it was just a situation where we had a need, and he was available. And we felt like we needed to add one more good veteran receiver to the group. And we talked a little bit about Derel, and we approached him about interest levels, and there was mutual interest. Trevor felt strongly about him, and we feel like Derel's got a lot of good football in him. So we feel very, very fortunate we were able to sign a receiver of that caliber.
You've had Trevor in the building now. You guys have met in person officially as both members of the Rough Riders. What's it been like to start building a relationship with him?
It's been good. I mean, you know him through just through coaching against him, and he's been in the league a long time, and so I always had respect for him. But when you get a chance to actually visit with him personally and get to know him a little bit, you realize there's a lot of high character stuff with him. So we're excited to have him. He's a family man. He's a team guy. He's a hard worker. He's constantly trying to improve and evolve his game. I feel like it's going to be a good fit.
How integral was he in the free agency process, helping recruit guys?
I think he's big. Yeah, I think as soon as we signed him, I think there was some good energy because of that, and I think it shows you the amount of respect people around the league have for him. Is when we did sign him, I think he saw some other guys fall into place because of that.
And how did the signing of Micah Johnson coming back to the Rough Riders come about?
Yeah, similar to Derel. Like, we've always liked Micah. We just felt like he was out of our price range at the time, but we were able to get it to where it was a win-win, we felt, for both sides, and we wanted to be as good as we could up front. That was one area that we felt like affected us last year when we had injuries up front. We wanted to make sure we had the best D-line we could. And so on paper, we feel pretty good about our defensive front, and Mike is a big part of that.
On the offensive line, you signed Philip Blake. Could he be a candidate to start at left tackle for you guys?
Yes. We're going to put our best lineman out there. And if Philip's a tackle, he's a tackle. If we feel like our American tackles are better, we'll kick him into guard. But we feel like Philip gives us really a ton of flexibility. We watched a lot of tape on him. We had him in Sask a few years ago, as you know, and that's a good football player. He can play any position on the O-line.
And did that help that you were there with him in Sask when he was there?
Oh, yeah, because you don't really know a guy till you coach with him or coached him, I would say. And so we knew right away that's a tough guy, could play a number of positions, smart. We were thrilled to get him back.
Some people might just look at Blake's age and think that he's old in football terms, but he didn't play a ton in the NFL. Do you feel like he has a lot of the cliche tread left on the tires?
I do. And the thing is, too, I mean, in this league, in this business, you're on a year-by-year basis anyways. A lot of these guys only sign one-year contracts. So we're not worried about what he's going to be like in 5 years. We want the best Philip Blake that we can have in 1 year. And I think he's got a lot of good football in him.
What's this offseason been like for you, remaking the roster, a new face of the franchise in Trevor Harris, in terms of leaving 2022 behind? Because you could argue that it's an outlier for your tenure there and Jeremy O'Day, because you guys were first in the West in 2019. You were right there in the West final in 2021. And then 2022 might be the anomaly. But how do you feel about that?
Yeah, the thing about it is, as soon as the season's over, you have to do your due diligence, and you got to really dig deep and figure out where to go wrong. And we did that. But the nice thing about this past offseason is we were so focused on what do we need to do to get better, it allowed us to just put that season behind us and focus on how do we get better moving forward. And if you're focused on getting better moving forward, you don't have a lot of time to talk about or to sulk over what was. You just basically say, here's the work we got to do, and here's how we got to do it. And so I feel like there's been a lot of good work this offseason, a lot of forward thinking moving ahead.
You're a guy that likes to take some time away from football and especially get out on the mountains on your snowboard. Have you been to any new resorts this offseason that you would recommend?
I got to tell you, this offseason's been busy. I haven't been out as much as I normally would, which is fine. We got work to do in Saskatchewan. We got to put a good team together. We got a bunch of new coaches, so I've had to meet with them a lot more than normal. And it's exciting right now. It's kind of feels like a fresh start in a lot of ways. There's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of fun ahead for us. So the skiing and snowboarding can wait. I'm still a young man. I got plenty of time to do that. This off season, Justin, was about getting the coaching staff together, doing a good job at free agency, and then this week making sure we do a real good job with the CFL draft.
You mentioned the coaching staff and Kelly Jeffrey being in his role now as offensive coordinator. How have you seen him take to it?
He's really taken to it like a duck to water, so to speak. Well, it's not new to him. You know, that's the one thing about Kelly. He's a little bit soft-spoken at times, but the guy's been around and he's coached a lot of good football. He's been a head coach. He's been a coordinator. He's coached a lot of different places. So I think it's a good fit. You know, time will tell how we do, but I'm really excited about what Kelly's going to bring to the offense, and I feel like he's going to bring a lot of excitement, a lot of big play mentality, and I think the guys are going to love him.
I don't usually do this, but is there something about the Riders that isn't being talked about enough, or that might have been your favorite part of the offseason?
I think the Riders get talked about ad nauseum. Like I don't think the Riders have ever suffered from lack of publicity or media attention. I just think there's a lot of good people in Riderville under the radar, so to speak. Not necessarily the coaching staff, but the football ops people, the people that work in the building on a day-to-day basis, the training staff. We've got a new trainer in place. It's going to be excellent. His name's Craig, and I just think there's a lot of good things going on there that people don't necessarily hear about or see. But I feel fortunate to be a part of it.
Thanks for shedding some light on it. Appreciate you.